The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a Primal Lifestyle. With your hosts, Nico and Ellen Haan. Now, Nico and Ellen Haan.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. Good morning, I'm Ellen Haan.
It's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg, 75 degrees and partly cloudy and very humid.
Very humid.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'd like to remind you folks to pick up the Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, if I can see where my cursor is here. There it is, right there. And also, please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. I should be getting the new one out today. And it follows the show, of course, $5 a month, or $5 an issue.
An issue, $10 a month.
Yeah. And, of course, the Primal Edge is $89 to your door every single month. Over 310 organic, cell-ready liquid ingredients, so it's easy to take, and it's all powered by humic and fulvic acid, which is really important because it takes good stuff out.
And it takes good stuff in.
Oh, it takes the good stuff in.
And puts the bad stuff out.
I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on.
That's why we're wearing blue today.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll tell you, it was my anxiety level kind of has gone down in the last week or so until last night, of course. I decided to watch a little news just before I went to bed.
I'm going to have to tie you up or something. Take away your remote control, because you can't watch that before you go to sleep.
Well, I do like to kind of detox with a little bit of information, but I know exactly what you're saying. But so last night I was watching the, I don't know which station it was.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
They're all the same.
Pretty much. And there was a nice peaceful demonstration going on, and the police were even kneeling in front of some of the protesters. It was kind of nice. And this was in Washington, right near the White House. Then all of a sudden, I guess there was an announcement that the president was going to speak about 6:15. It was like 6:45, so he hasn't come out yet, but that's generally what he does. And then all of a sudden he comes out and makes this silly little speech and then decides to go a walk. And the pushback from the people in the crowd was not there. It was the push of and I don't think it was the police. It looked like it was the National Guard or the special troops that are there to protect the White House and, in D.C. And they just pushed them all back, shooting canisters and stuff like that, seemed to be for no reason, and apparently it was a photo op so the president could walk over to the church, show that he has a Bible in his hand. And I am so confused because now he's talking about bringing out the National Guard, which is
mobilizing the military,
which is something that governors do, not presidents. Then he's saying, if the governments don't do that, I'm going to back it up with the Army, which of course that can't be done either, because if they needed some help, they'd have to request it. It's just, he's just going down a terrible road. So that just brought the anxiety up a lot higher, and of course now everything's more confused than ever. And now not only do we have the COVID thing going on, now we have peaceful marches, some riots, probably staged, it seems like.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation about driving in busloads of professionals and or paid protesters.
And these are the ones that seem to be causing the problems. Although there's always a little rioting going on, there's always, some people are going to take advantage of this. But mostly that's not what's happening that I see. I think it's mostly peaceful. And I think mostly, too, the police that are in your area are on our side. They're not on the side of this so-called lockdown type of thing. They're just as in the same boat we are, basically. And they're our friends. They're our people from our community. So these people have to be on our side, otherwise we're really in trouble. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it just brings up the whole thing. Now, there's a couple of things that we watched over the weekend. One was this new thing, and this is called the COVID pass. And this is interesting. This comes from the European Union. I think this is a British company.
European Commission?
Yeah, and what they do is they built it, of course, on patented technology, and it's awarded the seal of excellence by the European Commission, and it's used by various United Nations projects.
But what it is actually a list of your entire medical history.
Yes. on this, probably a card. They haven't said if it's going to be a card or something that they inject you with,
technology.
or I have no clue. But these are some of the things I think that companies and governments may be thinking about, that if you want to get out of the country, if you want to go to school, if you want a job, you're going to have to show that you're healthy. And these are one of the things.
Well, you know, if you go into your medical history anywhere on the line, online, like your insurance or whatever, every single prescription you ever had at the drugstore comes up, regardless of whether you're taking it or haven't taken it in 10 years. Every single one is on that list. And if you go to Walgreens can pull up a list and say, oh, let's see, they took blood pressure medication, 10 years ago, and everything is on there. It never goes away.
Yeah, and then the company is holding this. I've always thought that the personal information on me is mine.
Oh, no.
No, but this is the way I think it should be.
Well, of course.
Yeah, and I would think that I could give my doctor some kind of disc or something, and here's my medical stuff, and I want it back, and you can't copy it.
Well, what's interesting is in the United States we have HIPAA laws. That's the health, the insurance, the protection of your personal health information.
Yeah.
And medical caregivers are not allowed, hospitals, doctors, whatever, are not allowed to give out that information without your express permission.
Right.
But we still have Walgreens with a whole list of everything you ever took. And the clerk that works in the prescriptions can access that information.
And probably could share it if you wanted to, but of course that's not supposed to be happening.
Yeah, well, a lot of things are not supposed to be happening.
That's for sure. Another thing that I was interested in was this influenza vaccine respiratory virus interference among the Department of Defense personnel during the 2017 and 2018 influenza season. So Department of Defense personnel were given some influenza vaccines. Right. And apparently they're
11,943 people were involved in the study. They were mostly service people, so that they were in the armed forces, and a nice captive audience of guinea pigs.
And this is the article right here.
It's a complicated article. It's very technical, and they talk a lot about there were people who tested positive for respiratory viruses other than influenza, and what they say for the 2017-2018 influenza season, 4,041 out of 11,943 specimens tested positive for influenza, which was about 34%.
Yeah. There were 3,869 specimens identified as other respiratory pathogens. The remaining 4,000.
That was also 32%, right? About the same amount.
They're always around 33, the magic number, right?
Yeah.
Those people, the 4,000, were tested or resulted as negative. Of the 11,943, 2,474, 20% specimens were excluded from the population based as exclusionary criteria. So the data is just not good anyway.
Well, that's the problem.
Stick around, folks. We got a little more.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
And welcome back. So should you get tested? Now that the tests are here, finally, should I get tested for coronavirus just for the heck of it? An article that was in NPR. And of course, in the beginning, there was the shortage. The only way you could get a test if you showed some symptoms, maybe going to a hospital or something like that. And the tests have been rolling out. A lot of people claim the tests don't work much. They maybe are testing just corona by itself. Maybe even if you have a Corona beer, who knows? You might test positive, I don't know. But it's a very confusing thing. So should
well,
you
there's
now...
two kinds of tests.
Yes. There's,
diagnostic or PCR tests, and then antibody or antigen tests.
right.
And neither one of them are shall we say, at peak efficiency or...
Yeah, and talking on Thursday to Doc, now we can go once a week last week. This week we can go 2 times a week.
To jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. So that's really important for me because we're talking about stress, and that really helps in the stress level, getting your hands on somebody and choking them, you know.
Throwing them around a little.
Yeah, exactly. It helps a lot. But any of these tests, I don't know, I wouldn't get the first test, the one where they shove the thing way up your nose and go make a right turn and stuff. That doesn't sound good to me at all. And if the test is maybe 50% or even 60%, I wouldn't have much confidence that even they're going to tell you what it is. And
that's what they're saying here in this article that says, let's say you test positive, so your doctor will say self-isolate, and if you're not showing any symptoms at the time, you could...
Well, it could have happened last night. It could have happened 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. But they say if you have no symptoms, after 10 days, you can end your self-isolation. But a positive test could also mean you were sick weeks earlier, fully recovered and not infectious. And then the PCR test has shown positive results weeks after someone recovers.
Yeah. Now, let's say you test negative. This news would probably come as a relief. Perhaps you're hoping in a negative result would free you from certain activities without fear, say you return to work or visiting an older family member you haven't seen in months. But some of these doctors are saying that's not the case. It warns that a negative test shouldn't be seen as a ticket to stop being cautious.
Yeah, it says that we don't know how good the tests are in individuals who don't have any symptoms. So... And we have no idea what a negative test means in an individual that doesn't have symptoms.
Yeah. Now, the virus test or the antibody test is the one that Doc is doing in his labs, and he said they had a lot of problems at the beginning getting it right, but now they have one lab in the United States that he calls the Roth lab, and he says that's where they're getting their testing from, and it seems to be about 98 to 99%.
Does it take
good.
3 to 5 days after exposure to test positive? Some people test positive, then negative, then positive again.
So it's very confusing.
Hospitals are testing people with symptoms twice to be more certain about what they're finding.
So you go through all the trouble having the test, and then you get a result, negative or positive, and you still don't know.
And you feel like you can't rely on it.
Right. So this is another stressor.
There is, he says,
crazy.
there is some value in the odds asymptomatic person being tested and finding out whether they do indeed have COVID-19 gives you a better idea of how many people are sick. But anytime someone tests positive, if you can take them out of the equation because they self-isolate, but a negative test doesn't tell you if you don't have the virus.
Right.
So the question would really be, why would you? What would be, maybe, I don't know, maybe peace of mind is, and you could be lucky and not have it, and
It's all up in the air.
yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. So this morning I went to my Apple app, the Apple News, and there was just a thing on there that says everything about COVID-19. And so I just thought we'd pull that up and talk about it. The first thing they mention is that the U.S. will terminate its relationship with the WHO, World Health Organization. And what does this really mean? Well, this is an organization that is really on the bandwagon of policing health in a kind of way. And they get donations from countries, they get donations from organizations, they get private donations from different people. And the biggest donors have been the United States and China, I believe. I don't think this is such a big deal because they're really pushing vaccines and something that I'm not that interested in. Although, it's in the news and I want to talk about it too. A couple of the other things, Americans may be unwittingly throwing their long-awaited stimulus payments into the trash, confusing it for new envelopes for junk mail. So maybe they haven't been printing. Maybe they should put refund on the thing or something like that, or whatever.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah. Vacation towns across the country are reopening from lockdowns, and the local people are torn between, do we want new people coming in or not?
Yeah. I have one client where a woman became completely hysterical, and she called the police, she called the health department for the county, because I don't know what she was doing in the lobby at midnight, but she claims hordes of people were invading the building, and there's no security, no entry guard at access person.
Yeah.
At night.
Yeah.
And people were letting people, there are your friends, your family, whatever. People are arriving to visit you, or they've opened up for the rentals again. And I mean, she wrote a very long letter in which she basically threatened to sue the association if they let one person into the building. And she believes everybody should have their temperature taken and everybody should be tested before they can come in.
Boy.
And that you can't do that, but people are getting very worried.
So we're going to go on vacation in a few months. So this
Hopefully.
is something. Yeah, hopefully, that's for sure. And that definitely is up in the air. We haven't heard either way whether Denver is going to have an opening in their hotels and stuff. And this is a big convention of 680 people in one hotel.
Right.
So that's questionable whether that's going to happen or not. I hope it does. I have a couple of customers on vacation right now, so I'm anxious when they come back to hear what their experience has been floating around the country.
Yeah.
A couple of other items here. One says scientists say the coronavirus will never go away, even with a vaccine. Of course, the coronavirus has never had a vaccine. We know that's an RNA strain, DNA, RNA strain. So it changes as soon as it attaches to something. So that's why it would be hard to get a vaccine.
Right.
Coronaviruses have never gone away. And
They've been around for a very long time.
Yeah, and they're basically start with animals and cross over to humans at some point. That's what we know. One thing down here, why 15 states are suddenly making masks mandatory. And we have talked about this in the past, and I was listening to a doctor the other day, and he says, the coronavirus going through a mask is basically like a bumblebee going through a chain link fence. That's how small the molecule is. So it's not going to really stop anything. It may stop your particulates. In other words, when from going out. So the WHO has always said you wear a mask when you're ill.
Right.
That's the only time, not when you're going outside. And it's been pretty consistent. And doctors would recommend this normally too. Where the mask came in, I don't know where I guess this was a China thing a long time ago. They always do this during flu season.
They've been wearing masks for many, many years.
Yeah.
And
I think during a flu season, and if a lot of people are contagious, it probably makes sense. But I see people on bicycles having masks on. It's
by themselves riding on a bicycle
or in the
outside.
car by themselves too.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly to me. Stick around, folks. We got a lot more, and we'll be right back. And during the break, please visit our site here at TFNN and pick up the Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder. We'll be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're talking about masks, and it's been very interesting in terms of whenever I've been in an environment where someone's wearing a mask, it's very hard to have a conversation with that person. Their face is covered, hear. You can't read their facial expressions at all. In fact, it's sometimes it's hard to actually recognize a person who's wearing the mask. Can't read their facial expressions. As humans, we have evolved over generation after generation to read the fine. Our survival has depended on being able to determine if someone's a threat or not a threat, to read the cues, to see just before. It's like when you're driving and you see the car ahead of you or beside you, the front wheel starts to turn, you know they're coming in your direction. You're looking for those clues. And if you have a mask on, you can't read those clues, which is becoming an issue for us, and it's very stressful too.
And these clues are kind of instinctive in us, and they're social, and they're made to a geographical area. In other words, it reminds me of when we first, it's a cultural thing. When we first moved to Canada, in Holland, we have different expressions for saying, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, in Holland, when somebody's saying something to you and you kind of agree with them, you say, ugh. Yeah, which is completely different than
You're right.
So I remember watching my mother having a conversation with a Canadian, and my mother's going, ach this and ach that, and the other person's looking at her going, here I'm talking about something nice, and you're aching to me.
Right.
And that really instilled it in me that there's so much of a cultural thing that we do automatically. This woman had no clue what my mother was saying because she was looking at her face and listening to the ach sound. So the mask thing, I see it. You see a reporter, you don't know what the heck he's talking about. It's very difficult to follow it.
It's hard to hear for some reason because you can't kind of see and read the lips, and you do all these things when we communicate. And it's like when your phone rings, you have to put your glasses on, or you can't hear on the phone.
Right. In fact, I have a thing where I listen to the phone on my right ear. And for some reason, I have to use my left ear. It's very, very difficult for me to hear. It seems like I can't. It seems so distant. I don't know what it is.
No, it's also, so we were looking at this article about everybody's using Zoom these days.
Yes.
Now, there's no mask on your face with Zoom, but apparently there's a syndrome that's now developing called Zoom fatigue. And part of it is there's a microsecond hesitation between the speaking and and then hearing on Zoom. And it's also, you're looking at a big head on the screen.
Or maybe an icon of some kind.
Yeah, well, usually, these days when I'm on a Zoom call, I'm
seeing all the faces.
I'm either seeing all the faces or I'm seeing a name because they're on the phone. They've joined by phone instead of without the video. So
now, can you hear everybody? Are people muted, or does it only come up when they speak?
What we do is, if we're doing a meeting or we're doing if it's a small meeting, we leave everybody open. If it's a class, I taught a class for 75 people last week, and we had everybody muted simply because if you're rustling papers or talking to your child, then it's
amplified.
Everybody can hear it.
Right.
It's very distracting if your cell phone rings or whatever. So we keep and it's a nice way to be able to control what goes on in the call as well. There's a lot of good things about Zoom, but apparently there's an
affliction that's come to known as Zoom fatigue. Is way more than a byproduct of too many meetings. Social scientists say it's a result of sudden mass adoption of technology that's disrupting the normal, instinctual, and finely tuned way of communicating that developed to help humans survive. And this is what you were talking about with the mask also.
Right.
This is a completely foreign, different things.
Now imagine if you go to school and all the students are wearing masks.
Yeah.
You can't see anybody's face. You can't see any. You can't. This is going to be a fundamental change in our evolution if it continues. It's going to have a huge impact on psychologically on our interactions. And already there are children who have no empathy because they've spent all their time on the computer and no personal interactions. If we take away what personal interactions there are left, what's going to happen to us as a species?
Yeah. Before the pandemic, Zoom was barely known to the public. The 9-year-old company served mainly businesses, hosting lots of webinars and training. In recent months has become a staple in many households, growing to 10 million people attending meetings at the end of last year to 300 million in April. So this has definitely grown. This has connected friends and family, it kept businesses going. It's unclear how much has been hurt by its recent trouble protecting data. Yeah, there were some beginning problems.
And hackers.
Yeah.
But I think they've worked on that, and it's certainly been a lifesaver for businesses.
Yeah. Well, you never would have been able to do what you've been doing.
No, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had all stayed home, the business would have closed. Everybody would have gone out of business. It would have been a really terrible event.
Yeah.
A small law firm like ours at this point, we've been
Well, you wonder
fine.
what's going to happen to businesses. I got a call from my massage therapist yesterday saying that they're going to be back, and doing all the safety things and all the protocols. And you wonder if people are going to go back. And everybody's operating at 50% or less. Maybe some restaurants now are up to 80% or 75%. One of my customers came in. He says he was over in St. Augustine with his wife, and all the bars were open in St. Augustine.
Really?
And in Florida, I understood that
No,
the bars
they're not
were
open.
So everybody's doing their own
Well,
little
they're open
thing.
if you're serving food. So
Yeah,
I suppose they
in our
could.
restaurants they aren't. The places we went to,
Yeah, they've
the bar.
taken away the bar stools.
Yeah.
But if you're only a bar,
Yeah.
maybe if you're serving food, you can get around the closing. Well, there's more, just a little bit more on this Zoom stuff. They talk about Zoom presents communication pitfalls, inability to read body languages, faces moving different places on the screen. You're just looking at one big head kind of on the screen. People don't adjust their screens properly, so sometimes you're looking at the top of a person's head, their forehead up or their chin down or something. But there's also psychological issues that have to do with feeling threatened, that there's a fight or flight reaction, because it says there was a study at Stanford that said larger screen, the 56 inches compared to the 13 inches, larger screens activate the sympathetic nervous system associated with the fight or flight response.
Because there's too much, it's too big.
It's too big because the images look closer and more threatening.
It's almost like a spider eye, where you have 1,500 eyes looking at you or whatever it is.
Zoom, it says a speaker may seem uncomfortably close and staring at you. And when somebody stares at you, that's a clue to your body that you have to protect yourself, that you may be in danger. In an early study, participants were monitored by EEG as they were stared at from distances of 2 to 32 feet, and the brain activity reflected biochemical changes that stimulated a range of physiological states, including fight or flight.
Wow. Stick around, folks. We got a lot more.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. We're talking about the Zoom fatigue. Communication is an exquisite interplay of talk, gestures, movement, and timing between people that scientists call synchrony. The complex interaction is so basic that researchers who discovered it between adults later found it happens in newborns, and infants' movements synchronize with the speeches of its caretakers as early as the first day of life.
You know, one of the problems with Zoom is that, for example, when I'm teaching, I've been teaching for many years, and I'm used to the energy that a crowd generates.
Right.
And they react to what I'm saying, and they laugh at my jokes. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's all part of the experience, and that's why I enjoy it so much. But on Zoom, I'm just speaking into a dead silence, because everybody's muted, so they can hear clearly, and we don't have distractions. So the last time I taught, what I did was I ended up asking the people, I said, look, I know you're all muted, but would you do me a favor if you agree or, wave or give me a thumbs up or do something.
Going to have some lights or something to control
so
everything.
I could get some feedback here, and it made the conversation a lot better for me as the teacher and the speaker on that situation.
Maybe this is where emojis and things will come up later on that people say, oh yeah, here's a thumbs up and here's a little smiley face.
Well, they do have a little thumbs up at the bottom of the screen on Zoom, and you can't read the body language. You can't see what people are. They're just sitting there, and they also are yawning, and they're looking around. They're drinking coffee, whatever they're doing, and normally when you're in a room and you're teaching, or you're in a meeting room, people are looking at you while you're speaking, or whoever's speaking, and it's just a different experience. Yeah, the author here says that she finds Zoom to be exhausting. She suspects that because humans are driven to achieve the synchrony and work hard at cognitively to achieve it. So in other words, subconsciously, we're just wanting that, and we're working hard at it, and we get this empty feeling, and it's like balance. You maintain your balance without thinking about it, for the most part. Good point. So your mind is just always trying to sync up and be able to and have the communication and to read all the cues, and And when you can't do that.
And these are cultural clues, because I remember the first time that I saw an emoji, somebody putting it on Facebook or something like that, I go...
Emoji.
Yeah, emoji.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And I thought, what the heck is this?
Or the abbreviation.
Yeah, a fake emotion, right?
Right.
That's kind of what it is.
Oh, let me push which button should I?
Yeah,
let me put flowers.
The receiver in the beginning, you get a smiley face,
Right.
But now all of a sudden, months later, you go, oh, I got a smiley face.
Right.
So the culture changes and you recognize the norm of it, and then you become part of it.
And, well, it's just, just like when we post, if you post something on my LinkedIn account, then I'm going to see how many likes I got, or how many views I got.
Yeah.
I don't care about likes.
Well, it's all ego-driven. We like the numbers. The higher the number, the better it is for us, right? This is the kind of the goal.
And we're trying to reach people. We're trying to start conversations.
Sure.
We're trying to encourage people to look things up and to do their own research and to be mindful about their bodies.
Sometimes we just want to say, hi, I'm here.
Right.
That's
it's
just enough.
So, the evolution of Facebook is another thing, because it has turned into a very political thing.
Yeah.
It's not as enjoyable as it was for me. But kind of getting back to this Zoom conversation, says with so little nonverbal and real-time feedback, it's really hard to tell if the people on the other end of the video line are with you. You ask a question and there's silence. I found what I did was I asked yes/no questions. I said, okay, raise your hand if you think this.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And I looked at all the screens. I had three screens of 5 rows of 5. Mm-hmm. So and you can click back and forth. And I looked at all the screens, but I can't spend a lot of time. I haven't yet managed to get them on
You almost need a video
monitors.
manager behind you saying, hey, this is what's going on.
The director. I need the director.
Exactly.
Cue camera 1. It's because if I'm jumping from screen to screen, I'm not focusing on what I'm saying.
Right.
And I'm learning. I'm evolving. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and she said, if you were teaching on Zoom if you were doing long distance learning all the time, you would get very good at it, because you would learn the tricks and you would evolve into that style of teaching. And
well, it's kind of like when we video conference when you were out of town. We would do the iPhone little chat thing, and at first it was kind of awkward, but then as we got used to it, and then you see the smiling face at the other end, and because we've been apart, it's a warm and fuzzy feeling, and it's good.
It is.
But at first it was very foreign and very cold and dark, kind of like the emojis thing.
Yeah, the emojis.
Yeah, well, I might have trouble pronouncing things, you know that. But it's just like a cold fact coming up to you, and it hits you in the face, and it's like a cold fish hitting you in the face. It's not very pleasant.
Because
until
I can't do this.
That's right, you can't. Yeah, and we need that stuff.
Yeah.
And
we're monkeys. We have to
we're
touch.
social animals, that's for sure. And we want to be in front of people, and we want to see all these cues that people are giving by talking or not talking or whatever, and we're not getting them, and that's the frustration. And this is why I think this author is saying why it's so exhausting using
something
Zoom.
else is that you're looking, and what do we look at? I try and focus on who's speaking.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I find myself thinking, geez, my hair doesn't look that good. And people are doing that, combing their hair in the thinking it's like looking into a mirror.
Yeah.
You forget you're on TV. And everybody can see you, and and everybody's head's a different size, or they got the angle of the camera just a little bit different, or some people are on their phone, some people on their laptop, some on their computer, and it just depends on where the camera is and what angle it's going, and how much of you I can see, and all of that throws again off that brain thing that wants to have balance. You want to know where everybody is around you. That's a survival thing. It reminds me when your mom developed severe macular degeneration.
Yeah.
And when she would walk into the sunroom at your sister's house, and a lot of family members would be sitting in various places, and she couldn't see them, she had to walk over and get into the middle of the group in order to see. It's very isolating, and it's very hard to orient yourself, because we're accustomed you stand at the head of the room, you can see everybody and see what everybody's doing. You don't even think about it. It's not a conscious thing.
And now you have to go into their space in a sense, and that's uncomfortable to begin with.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so this is kind of like the Zoom thing, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's a
exactly.
good analogy, Alan. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, because, and some people can seem uncomfortably close. And it's just a very interesting phenomenon.
Yeah, another source of stress, researchers have found that it's a mirror or the video camera trained on study subjects causes them to see what they think other people are seeing. So your bad image
We're
of
our
yourself.
worst critics.
Yeah, no doubt about
Oh,
that.
I hate that picture of me. Oh, look at a gorgeous picture of you.
During the break, please pick up our Primal Edge and our Health Signals newsletter so you can follow the show. And Ellen and I will be back in a second.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us, and Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN has developed a daily programming lineup for traders by traders. We start every trading day live at 8:30 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien hosting the morning market kickoff as he starts the day off by breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on for the trading day ahead. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento takes your calls and questions live on the air for the opening bell as he hosts Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Trading Hour. At 11 a.m., it's Kevin Hanks and Alex Coffey from TD Ameritrade Network with Fast Market. Basil Chapman at noon with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes hosts the Trader's Edge at 1 p.m. Dave White with the Power Trading Hour at 2 p.m. And Tom O'Brien closes out the day for the final hour of trading live from 3 till 4. Don't miss a second of our daily programming lineup. Tune in to Tiger TV every trading day live at TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Well, they're still talking about the video conferencing impact on people. And this study continued to say that face-to-face conversation results in the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine that are linked to feelings of pleasure and the hormone oxytocin. So that's interesting because studies of biochemical reactions that occur while communicating by text, social media, and telephone suggest that we get more biochemical bang for our buck during face-to-face contact because it offers a richer stream of social signals. So that would explain why it's better to talk to somebody in person.
Face-to-face,
But
yep.
Another very interesting thing in this article for me, I've been going to meetings for many, many years. And I know, and one of the things I teach is how to set up a room in order to keep control of what's going on in the room and where you sit at the table and how you set up the table. And this is talking about that on Zoom, there's no conference table. So what happens, that really has scrambled the pecking order. You don't end up in the top left of the screen even if you're the head of the
So there is no order on the Zoom.
Yeah, it's basically when you log in, when you're invited to enter from the room, from the waiting room, and but it looks to me, based on my experience, that the originator of the call is at the top left.
Makes sense.
And but there have been times that I've been looking at the screen and I'm the second one over, and then I see a screenshot that somebody took of the Zoom, and I'm in a totally different place. I think each person may have a different view, but that takes away that subliminal authority. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, because we're replacing face-to-face contact with all these different things, then we're entering this kind of no contact zone. Even though we're talking to people, we don't have that feedback that we normally would get. And there's the exhausting part, because we're looking for it, we want it, we want approval. It's kind of like that face-to-face contact with somebody. When I remember my dad, it was always face-to-face when there's a problem. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, folks. Another week went by. Here we go.
Week went by.
See you next week.
Good luck, everybody. Have a great week. Be safe.
Yeah, exactly.